Welcome back, friends. We are at day 2 of our daily devotional together, and we're going to talk a little bit about our ministry as mothers and homeschooling parents. Maybe there are fathers listening, so our ministry as parents, as well as how that fits into homeschooling. So oftentimes when we think about ministry, we think about the things that we do within our church building, right? We think of worship leaders or greeters or Sunday school teachers, kind of things in that arena. And then we also might think, when we're thinking about ministries, we're thinking of kind of ministries within our community. So like food pantries and homeless shelters, and we might even think of big organizations like Salvation Army. We rarely think about parenthood as a ministry, but something that has really been impressed upon me in recent years is how parenthood is a ministry, and not only is it a ministry, but it's an important ministry. I didn't set out to be a stay-at-home mom that was homeschooling. I was homeschooled. I enjoyed homeschooling. I desired to homeschool my kids, but I also had this other desire to do big things, to be an entrepreneur. And I just did not think that God would call me to stay at home with my kids and homeschool. And I've worked part-time here and there throughout our homeschooling journey, but life looks a little bit different than what I had planned for. And so I went from owning a business that was very ministry centered, doing something where I was praying over youth and really feeling like I was doing something for God's kingdom, something big and something wonderful, and being so excited about it, to God changing that season of life for me to staying at home and then eventually homeschooling. And there were times that as I was kind of thinking about, my new normal as I was transitioning in this new season of life, I kind of just felt like I wasn't doing anything great or wonderful or even really life-changing a lot of times. When we think of our day-to-day tasks as parents, when our kids are little, it's like changing diapers and reading to them and singing to them and playing games with them. And as our kids get older, it's and if you're a homeschool parent, we spend time teaching them, however that looks for you, and trying to engage them in the community and get out in nature. All of these tasks, though, seem so mundane and unimportant. So with this in mind, I would like to dive into 2 Corinthians. We'll read it together, and then I would like to share some thoughts with you that will hopefully offer you some encouragement throughout your day today. We're going to read in chapter 1, verse 12. It says, "Now this is our boast. Our conscience testifies that we have conducted ourselves in the world, and especially in our relations with you, with integrity and godly sincerity. We have done so relying not on worldly wisdom, but on God's grace." A synonym for sincerity is, sorry, my lights are flickering for some reason, is wholehearted. And so as I was talking about at the beginning, it can be easy to think that this ministry is not important. It can be easy to just kind of go through the motions of your day and just think washing the dishes is mundane, reading with the kids is mundane, fixing lunch is, not a big deal. But we want to pursue this ministry of parenthood and of homeschooling wholeheartedly, right? Everything we do, we want to do with purpose. Everything we do, we want to put our full heart in. Right? We want to make sure it's saturated with the Lord. And so that's my encouragement to you today. As you are applying what we talked about yesterday and taking some quiet time today just to sit with the Lord, I encourage you to really reflect on what ways can you approach this new school season wholeheartedly. Maybe even reflect back on some areas that you weren't approaching the ministry that God has given you wholeheartedly, or maybe with sincerity, whether that was intentional or unintentional. And just take some time to meditate on that. Friends, I want to encourage you that, you are not homeschooling because of happenstance. We sometimes, especially if you're like me and you kind of transitioned in 2020, may think, oh, we kind of stumbled upon this because we lived at this time in the world when things were bonkers crazy, right? God has a plan for you staying at home with your children right now in this season, taking this step. Maybe it's your first year of homeschooling and you were like, I don't know what to do. I've never even met a homeschooler. I am terrified. If God has called you to something, He is equipping you for that thing He's called you for. Do not be fearful. I know it's easier said than done. Trust you, I am preaching to the choir right now. But God has called you in this ministry, such a time as this. Each one of your precious children, God has a plan for them. And He's using you to build them up for that plan. And what a beautiful thing that is if you really think about it. So be encouraged today. Do not be discouraged. Even if you feel unsure, you are here for a reason. You are homeschooling for a reason. And your family is going to be blessed by this decision. Take care, and I will catch you tomorrow.